So, but what does Lean actually mean for us as Agile community? So in a nutshell, what they found out is that let's say the traditional way of doing projects, like NASA at the time was basically the standard for, doesn't really work for an innovative environment around us. Instead, the Japanese companies, they thought about it differently, is that nobody in the beginning can foresee everything that's going to happen afterwards. So what we need to do is not define properly, but we have to do something that's called fail fast. They come up with 6 principles, and the first one is called built-in instability. So instead of sharing or saying what they need to do, we have to share the purpose of what we need to develop, the functionality. And that's how we get the best results out of our engineers or developers. So we have to create multidisciplinary teams. And you have to see that something like the special forces in the army. We select the people that are altogether capable of bringing forward the mission, and at the same time we empower them in such a way that they can achieve the result together and even adapt the plan if that is necessary for them. The third principle is one of the overlapping development phases, because we know that when you find an error at the end of the process, it's very costly to repair that, right? So if you are able to discover an error in an early stage, you give yourself much more opportunity to correct that. You have much more flexibility, the costs are much less. It basically means if you put people in a room together and they start working on a project, it's probably difficult to teach from a very experienced worker, let's say, how do you do this? But if you, at the end of the sprint, reflect together and say, how do we achieve this result together? The person that is very less experienced, together with the person that's more experienced, they can probably uncover the process that they actually, let's say, follow together, and it actually helps to define how they should approach a similar problem the next time. If you create transparency and if you create feedback, people adapt much more easily and more willingly. So that's why we do, let's say, daily Scrum meetings, for example, to monitor if the work is progressing correctly. That's why we do reviews to understand if the client is happy with the things that we're doing. And if the team feels empowered and they're able to define how they want to work and they have this feedback, that's actually the best control that you can actually have. So no, let's say, difficult reports anymore, just the reviews. And last but not least, it's about principle 6, the transfer of knowledge. This is what the Japanese call yokoten. We know that from one project to another, we want to share what we've learned. What we know is that what doesn't help is that you say, you have to do it like this. You know, if you share your experience and you share what kind of difficulties you faced and how you learn to solve them, you're probably able to inspire, let's say, the others. And that means that we are allowing ourselves to continuously improve our work and our processes.